90-Day Fiancé is one of the messier reality shows currently on the air, with the format of the series leading to many cringeworthy moments. Two strangers meeting each other for the first time and having to decide whether or not to get married in just 90 days is obviously going to lead to that, but sometimes things get incredibly emotional. With Karine and Paul trying for a child, the two went to the doctor for a standard checkup. Instead of receiving an exciting update, the news they got was quite grim. They were given the worst possible news: their unborn child had passed away. Commenter UJealous Tax 2391 solemnly mentioned the scene. "I don't care for them, but it was just such a raw and sad moment in a person's life." Their disdain for the two of them is a common sentiment as they are considered two of the worst parents on the show, but it was impossible not to feel sympathy for them in this instance. Seeing their raw emotions as their dream of a family was ripped away from them was a soul-crushing moment to watch. The passing of Angela's mother. Angela and Michael are one of the more infamous couples to appear on the show, as the two had quite a tumultuous relationship. Both betrayed each other's trust on multiple occasions, so they are far from fan favorites. Still, family passing is something that every viewer can empathize with on a deep level. Reddit user UKATTEKOP123 recalled the scene, writing, "When Angela's mother passed away, I was dreading that moment all season. Losing a mother is one of the worst pains that people commonly go through, so it was almost impossible to not shed a tear at this one." Angela having a loving relationship with her mother made things only harder for viewers. Armando's sister apologizing to him. Kenny and Armando are a heartwarming 90-day couple, being one of the only LGBTQ+ pairings and setting an amazing example of what love could look like in the series. Armando's sister's initial reaction to them, though, was difficult to see. Original poster Canapina wrote, "When Deborah, Armando's sis, apologized to him, the apology was not heartbreaking, but the context behind it was. Armando was previously married to a woman, and his coming out was not received well by his family. Despite them eventually coming around to it, this was a triggering moment for a lot of people. Being rejected by those one loves just for being who they are, and coming out is something that is tragically relatable for many people." Mama Jihoon taking out Devon. Jihoon and Devon had an uphill battle to success, as they came from very different backgrounds. Jihoon's parents did not speak English, and Devon did not speak Korean, so them getting close seemed out of the question. In a turn of events, though, Jihoon's mother, Yoon, did everything she could to get close to Devon for her son's sake. She was an amazing mother-in-law, going as far as taking Devon out for a day of fun after Devon's pregnancy prematurely ended. Redditor UMETZGR4 Sheriff put their feeling towards the situation in their comment. They wrote, "When Mama Jihoon took Devon to the interactive museum to try and cheer her up after her pregnancy ended. Such a sweet act of love and support, and it's even sadder when you know how things turned out for them all. The sadness factors in when re-watching it after seeing the outcome of their relationship. Devon tried to separate from him and have someone else raise their kids. Jihoon and Yoon were nothing but supportive of her, so seeing such disrespect was quite upsetting." Juliana talking about her first husband. Brazilian native Juliana Custodio came to America with the hopes of starting a new life. Her life in Brazil was difficult, and her talking about it was excruciating to hear. Thread starter W.O.Animals brought the scene up, saying Juliana explaining how abusive was her first husband was, and that nobody in her family believed her. Abusive relationships are a distressing conversation for many to have, and hearing Juliana go into how nobody even would believe her was demoralizing. Lita and Eric do not have the best reputation on Reddit, with the site also considering them to be among the worst partners to appear on the show. This specific scene, in which Lita pushed Eric to kick out his own teenage daughter in order to make room for her, is one of the most difficult to watch. Reddit thread starter W.O.Animals yet again contributed this one, writing, "Seeing her pack and cry over it actually made me cry." It was certainly a tough scene to watch, as a parent betraying their child for any romantic partner, let alone one they just met, is truly awful behavior. Daniel leaving South Africa. Tiffany and Ronald went through a nasty divorce, and Tiffany's young child, Daniel, was selfishly dragged into it. Both parents tried to manipulate him into liking them more than the other. It was a truly despicable charade, and seeing Daniel officially leave Ronald was the peak of emotion. Reddit commenter Umix Masterman wrote when Tiffany took Daniel and left South Africa. Seeing Daniel run to give Ronald one last hug broke my heart. While Ronald may not be Daniel's biological father, the two built a strong bond and clearly had love for each other. Tiffany did not want anything to do with Ronald going forward, so this scene could have potentially been the final goodbye between the two, making it a sobering scene to watch. Jay's infidelity. Ashley and Jay got off to a seemingly solid start to their relationship, officially tying the knot after being with each other in the States. In an upsetting turn of events though, Jay ended up not being as committed to their relationship as he wanted Ashley to think. Commenter UKLHROSE1147 talked about this scene among others as being tear-jerking. Jay was exposed as having a profile on the popular mobile dating app Tinder after the two had already been married. Ashley was distraught, having the man she loved completely break down any trust the two had previously built up. While Ashley went back and forth on trying to decide what to do with him, she eventually settled on divorce. Anything with Kyle and his mom. The pairing of Kyle and Noon was a breath of fresh air for those who watch every episode. The two were drama-free and seemed to genuinely enjoy each other's company, a complete 180 from the usual tone of the show. Kyle's down-to-earth attitude makes him one of the most relatable people the show has seen. They motivated each other to improve their lives, and one facet of that was Kyle reconnecting with his estranged mother. Their encounters, though, especially the early ones, were painful to watch. User U.K.Emissary referenced this, typing, "The scenes where they interacted were just kind of irretrievable and sad." Kyle had a tough upbringing, with his mother not doing a particularly good job at being a mother. The same comment mentioned how his mother really had no plans to even attend his wedding. It was truly heartbreaking to see Kyle trying to fix things and his mother not reciprocating the same energy. Mike calling off his wedding. In a dramatic turn of events, couple Mike and Natalie had their relationship come to a horrific end. The two seemed to get along well, and Mike even pulled out all the stops for her proposal, doing it in front of the Eiffel Tower. Just 3 days before their wedding day, though, everything came to a halt. Commenter UKLHROSE1147 brought the scene up, as they wrote, when Mike called the wedding off, and Natalie had to call the ordained minister and let them know not to come. Natalie was clearly devastated and surprised, and she was left with having to pick up the pieces and cancel the plans. Making the situation even more heartbreaking is the fact this was during the initial wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Natalie's visa was also set to expire. Mike showed no care in the world about helping her out at first, even if he eventually did, making this a true tearjerker.
Just to